All wrapped up here at the Thornbury Surfacing Stadium with Chippenham Town manager Mike Cook. Mike, a 1-1 draw against fellow playoff chasing Eastbourne today. I suppose on reflection, probably a fair result.
Yeah, I think so. They hit the bar a couple of times. The disappointing thing is it's a late goal, even though it's a great strike, to the lad, fair play to him. But it's just a little bit disappointing when we had 10 shots first half. They've only had sort of 3 or 4 second half. So with the wind, we've made the better of it without scoring. So you come in at half time, you think it's going to be tough. I thought the wind dropped a little bit in our favour as well. But we just, once you go that 1-0 up, we work on it in training about sliding and screening and getting these knockdowns, and then to concede like that is disappointing for us.
Yeah, we'll talk about the goal. We'll go on to the big points in the game. I think starting, of course, with the decision to take Will Richards from the pitch quite early doors, and it obviously changes the shape a little bit and changes the structure of the game as you on the outset. Will appeared to be coming off with what looked like a mere muscle injury. Have we got any update on Will's condition so far, or is it something you guys are going to have to look at through the week?
Yeah, 40 years experience, I'd say he's done his hamstring and he's going to be a good 4 or 5 weeks, I would think. So again, that's not ideal. We've been trying to get a couple of loans in for the past couple of weeks, which hasn't come off. So we're sort of down to the bare bones again now at this stage of the season, which is not where we want to be, to be fair. And I thought Alex Bray started today, Danny Greenslade started. Looked a little bit rusty to begin with, and then they found their way into the game, so I'm pleased for them as well. They're coming back from obviously long injuries, and that definitely bolsters that a little bit with them coming back.
And of course, speaking of somebody coming back into the side after a bit of a lengthy layoff, Griff, he's come back off today after an injury, and he's come on for Will, and obviously paid dividends with the first goal that was scored, and a little bit of a change to the structure obviously off the side and the shape of the team when we're moving forward. But it's great to see Griff sort of getting in a position and finding his goal today, and you can see what it meant to him down in the corner there with the celebration. Yeah,
and I'm pleased for him because he's not the type of lad who can have 3 or 4 weeks off and come back and be raring to go. He needs to keep his fitness up. So since going from Cardiff, we've just said to him he needs to come in with the 23s on a Monday and just keep himself fit, make sure he keeps the weight off. And when he gets a goal like that, I thought his general play was quite good today as well. There's a couple of times he gave it away when we needed to stick, but it's like we said, it's quite a tough year when they get released from a pro club and you drop down into non-league. And I think that he'll be the first one to admit he has found it tough. So pleased for him. I think he's got 4 goals for us this year. So he just needs to build on that, get his fitness, and we'll be using him a little bit more.
And of course, the goal did eventually come for the visitors, and it came in the form of a fairly decent strike from Dominic Hutchinson, who looked very lively all day. But as the more and more so they pressed down the hill, they're throwing pretty much everything at you. It was sort of an air of inevitability, and coming off the bar from Lure, and then it's bounced with Hutchinson, who's managed to put the ball really cleanly back past Will Henry, who, to be fair, on his day today, he's had a very, very good game. He's controlled everything back there in the defensive, marshalled it well, but just at the end there, just undone by a little bit of quality.
Yeah, we were just expecting a little bit more of an onslaught with the wind that they had, and it didn't really happen. And we looked fairly sort of safe and secure. Didn't really get in behind us, so that was pleasing. But like I said, it's a great strike, and out of the 2 games where we've played them away and home, they've got those 2 late goals twice. They've probably taken 4 points off us altogether, which some might say probably not deserved, but fair play to them. It was a good game. It's far better for us when they come and have a go, and they did. So made it a bit more of a spectacle for the support. So that was good.
And we spoke after the Welling game last week about maybe a chance missed with other teams around us not doing so well. Keeping tabs on that playoff spot, which is I'm sure where your head's at now, and where everyone else is sticking in that mix and trying to keep it entertaining as we head down the stretch. But another game, another 0-0 draw, I believe, for Dulwich against St Albans, which has relieved a little pressure with another game going there and points not being caught up with. Eastbourne today, the team slightly above us, of course, pegged us back for a late equaliser and shared the points here. Hungerford went down 1-0 to Braintree, so the chasing pack now are starting to sort of see their games tally coming in line with ours, and I believe we're still only a couple of points away from it. A couple of good results at the top end of the table saw teams 4, 5 and 6 as well not pulling too far away from us. It's it's looking like it's shaping up to be a very interesting end to the season.
Yeah, it is, and it's tight. And we've had conversations all season, haven't we? Simon said, when we've gone away and got these points at Eastbourne away and Hampton, they're great points. Other teams that are around us have got to do that, and it's a tough old league. Especially with the resources that we've got at the moment. You'd think, well, it'd be lovely to go and get 2 centre forwards that we could spend a lot of money on. That isn't going to happen. So we've got to try and either get a loan or 2 in, or get the youth team players on. I mean, a good mention for Ola today. I thought he wasn't great last weekend. He looked a little bit tired, and I thought that to give him a rest for this week and get him firing again, and he'll come back into the fold at some stage. But we've done a lot of things in training with him on Tuesday and Thursday, so we're hoping that sticks with him, because he's not had a lot of coaching, and fair play to him, he's taking it on the chin, and he'll be back with his goals soon.
So we saw almost a mirror reflection in the last few games where they beat us here, they beat us away, Eastbourne drew here, Hampton and Richmond Borough next at the weekend. It was a very good performance from ourselves last time we left there when we went up to the Beverley, but unfortunately just couldn't quite get over the line. I think it fizzled out to a 0-0 draw, but a very competitive 0-0 draw. I suppose all signs point to it being another very lively and very competitive game here. Gary sets his sides up well, you've got to be looking forward to that now, thinking coming into that game, these are again points that we're going to start needing to pick up if we're going to stay in there. Yeah,
and I just think all those other people around us have got to do the same thing. I think Gary's quite an astute coach. He'll have a look at us and see what we're good at and what we haven't been good at over the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks. It's just great to be in there, isn't it, really? And it's great to be in there with a bit of a shout. And if, like I said before, if we can be somewhere Andy by sort of back end of March, then I think it would be great for us, because then we've got those 3 or 4 really tough games, and we've got to put ourselves in a really good place come that time, and I'm sure we'll be alright.
And just before we let you go, Mike, obviously one final hat tip from all of us here, and I'm sure you'd like to echo those sentiments. I think some near 500 supporters in the ground today, very few travelling down from Eastbourne, as can be expected with the damage that's been caused with the storm and all the other bits and pieces. The ground staff have managed to keep this place looking absolutely fantastic through the week, and it's had no issues in playing the game today. It's gone down absolutely perfectly, but for somewhere near 500 Chippenham supporters to come and get in the ground today amidst all the conditions and everything that's going on with the wind and all the disruption and the cold, it must be great to get in here and start seeing the on the turning point, really, where in the home games and home form wasn't always always the thing we look forward to most in the early stages of the season, but now we seem to be headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I think so, and we're trying to play a bit of football, and I said on the radio the other week that if we could get another sort of 150 people here, even when we lose, we've been playing some good stuff, and you've got to give the crowd a bit of entertainment. I mean, we're talking about long shots today, when we've got 3 or 4 like Alfie and Geordie in the team who can hit them from distance, that's worth your 12 quid or your 15 quid coming in.
Never tend to score boring goals, do we?
No, we don't, and it's great. If you're a supporter of Chippenham at the moment, I think you're going to come down and you're going to get good value, and we're going to fight and scrap for every point like we did today. Didn't quite go for us, but we haven't got to get down too much, because we're doing unbelievable for the club that we are at the moment. So it's all very positive.
Good stuff. Well, we'll let you crack on, Mike. Obviously, you've got some celebrations to go and have with your staff there, and another point on the tally for the National League South, and hopefully we can keep sticking in the mix. Hampton and Richmond up next, and we'll see you there see you here on Saturday against Hampton and Richmond Borough.
Brilliant.
Cheers,
Great.
Mike. Thank you.
Simon.